Yo, what up y'all, IntraVenus here, back with another episode. Today I am taking a look at another budget handheld as I continue my quest for the cheapest way to play games, especially on the go. I am really into handhelds lately, as a lot of people seem to be getting into. And this here is the GB300.
7 Simulator.
Meaning it can actually emulate 7 different consoles, at least already on there, and it does have 6,000 plus games. And I guess that plus is reiterated here. It's got support for external gamepad double against, which I guess is 2-player mode. It has simulators, aka emulators, for Famicom, PC Engine, Super Famicom, Mega Drive, Game Boy, Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advance. The GB100 has 6,000 plus games with an 800 milliamp hour battery capacity, input voltage 5 volt. It's got a battery voltage 3.7 volts and electric current of 300 milliamp hours. This is a digital game system with a 3.0 inch. I don't think it has a super wide screen. I don't know why it says that. We'll see when we get it out of here. It's slim, portable, and trendy. Digital multi-platinum device can play on TV. We're going to check that. The backlit function of the screen ensure player can play everywhere. Powerful rechargeable battery. 2.2 hours of continuous play. That doesn't sound that powerful, but anyhow, I did actually order the black model, and I guess that's supposed to be this here. I guess that's a black, rectangle fading. It's supposed to be all black, a little faded there. So, let's go ahead and open it up. See what I got. I paid $13 for this. $13 and like 1 penny. That's free ship. So, I mean, what can we expect here? Oh, had it upside down. Okay, so first of all, you can expect to maybe get a different color than you ordered. I got the red, but that's alright because I was actually eyeballing the red one. Looks like, I think it only came in 2 colors. They sent me the red one. Before I open that, let's go ahead and look. We got a little thingy, a tray. We got our video cable, old school. This is not HDMI. And our USB-C cable. At least it does USB-C. And no instructions at all, actually. So let's go ahead and get the box stuff out of the way and take a peek in here. So this is the GB300, and it is like essentially a Game Boy Pocket. I used to have a red Game Boy Pocket even, and it was almost identical in color. There's a shape drawn in here that resembles the actual shape of a Game Boy, but they have it edged out at the bottom. What's interesting about this is that, first of all, it does do Game Boy Advance, and they've added triggers, and actually comfortable triggers. It's got a little butt on it. And, a fairly simple and replaceable rechargeable battery in there. It charges USB-C at the top. It's got a headphone jack, power switch. Does have a does have a SD card, so you can add your own games. You probably do custom firmware. We got a volume slider, which I love it when it's a wheel. You can really control the precision of the audio there. And that's it. The buttons here: start, select, A, B, X, Y, D-pad, and we got our L and R shoulder buttons. Let's go ahead. Well, actually, before we power it on, they always put like a thin film on here, and I want to see if I can find it. It's hard to get off, and you don't want to scratch the screen. I don't consider this a screen protector for use because it changes the way things look. See how the color of my skin is darker inside there? Just fogs things up a little bit. So here it is. And it's actually not it doesn't look like a ultra wide, though it is, I guess, like a little wide. This is probably the exact aspect ratio I'm thinking for Game Boy Advance, which is You know, the main reason I got it, when I get a handheld, I wanted to play Game Boy Advance. Let's see if it's turned up. Oh. Okay, we got a simple menu music here. Wait. Okay, so for some reason turning it down is actually rolling the wheel up. That's different. But you definitely have that precision of audio there. I love it when you can just... Sometimes it's nighttime or something, you just want barely any audio. So let's see, we got Mega Drive, aka Sega Genesis. We got Game Boy, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, ROMs. Not sure what that is. Photo folder, history. Looks like it's been tested a little bit. There's a game search. That's awesome. Okay, so right off the bat, let's go ahead and see if there are any Mario games. This is very intuitive. I didn't really have to think about how that worked out. It's just to keep... Whoa! Hey, yo, this is actually unusual these days. You don't usually get these with the Mario games on them. In fact, this seems to have all the Mario games. Everything with Mario in the name is there. And then some. Wow, okay. Well, let's back out of there. We also have settings for language. And then we've got Famicom, PC Engine, Super Famicom, back to Mega Drive. As it said, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 simulators. Let's take it to some Super Famicom real quick, because this is actually, it's got all the right buttons. As you know, the Game Boy Advance was sort of like a portable Super Nintendo, and so I guess this should be kind of too. So let's take it to, first of all, let's see how many games. This looks like it has all the games. It's got all the Super Nintendo games. Alright, let's go ahead and Donkey Kong Country to it. The audio's a little off. Some little stutters and it's like slightly off key or something. But there's a little bit of slowdown going on. I think most of it is in the audio, which makes it seem like it's all slowing down, but it is slowing down a little bit. Like I said, there's custom firmware that you can use or install yourself, and that usually speeds things up on these type of devices like OpenDingUX or something like that. I'm sure they make it for the GB300, and I might make a video on that. Also on these devices, when you press start and select, usually it brings up a menu as it did here, and there you can quit back to the games, you can save state, and here you can even remap the controls, which is very handy and looks pretty simple. That's nice. Alright, well, let's quit out of that. Let's try some Mega Drive with whatever game I just selected. I don't know what this is. Oh my god. Whoa. What is this? Okay, let's try something we all know and love, shall we? Like Sonic. This has all the games too. All the Sega games. $13, you get everything. Alright, it even has some hacks, I believe. Let's try some Sonic 3. I loved this game when it came out. I still do, but got it when it actually came out as a kid on the Sega, and well, it looks like it is. This particular ROM is not loading, but it did not freeze the console. That's a plus. You're gonna get some ROMs that don't work. Oh, let's do Sonic 2. And like I said, you can add your own ROMs. Probably a good idea. There we go. That sounds good. So Sonic 2, this looks good. Okay, so we're running Sega very well. I like it. It's having the little weird stuttering there in the trees, seeing. That's probably the ROM. Actually, that might just be the viewfinder. Sick. I like this. Viewing angles. Not bad. The sides aren't as good, but you're not going to be playing from side. But the top and bottom are actually good. Better. Alright, let's check out some Game Boy Advance. We got all the Pokemons. I'm sure they work. Let's play some... You know, let's try something that like challenges the console. Like F-Zero. Let's do F-Zero. They got that on here. Let's go back. So far it sounds good. My name is A. I'll just go with A. This is actually, I was sort of expecting it to be all stuttery here when I picked this game. Oh, this is working. This is working good. Wow. The audio's like a little skippy there. Not even trying my triggers here. Which is how you kind of gotta move in these F-Zero games. And it's also hard to play and look at the viewfinder. Oh, I'm being terrible. The point is, though, it is actually playing. You know, I think this uses like mode 7 or whatever, and I feel like this is one of the harder ones to emulate. So let's go ahead and quit out of there, and let's check Pokemon just to make sure it's not stuttery. And also, I just love it that they put it right at the beginning. They're like, yeah, people don't want to look for it. Just give them the Pokemon right at the front. Give them the Pokemon right away. Show them the Pokemon. They'll buy it. And you know, I want to make a video on it, but I have this idea that maybe Nintendo and the Pokemon company should release their own kind of style retro Game Boy nowadays with collectible cartridges, the classic Pokemons. Maybe they could even make new Pokemon games for it. It can only play Pokemon and people will buy it. Anyhow, this seems like it's working well. A little smudge there where I pulled off the, there we go. This seems to be working really well. You know, so far I've been testing out a few of these devices on the channel, and this one by far works the best. And it's also the cheapest. And it is the most comfortable to hold. This is really nice. Now, I do have to say, I didn't notice yet any way to change the brightness. If you care about something like that. I think it is plenty bright and it doesn't really need to be adjusted. Though if you play at nighttime, maybe you'd want it dimmer because it could be hard on the eyes. So let's get through all this. I just want to see the game in motion. This is working really well. The audio actually sounds the best on Game Boy Advance. At least Pokemon games got it down. F-Zero was a little stuttery, but I mean it was still very playable. This is $13, free shipped from China. I mean, there are a few things about it that are kind of mind-boggling. This is great. This is great, I finally found one. I think this is where it's at. This is gaming on a budget, done right. Handheld gaming on a budget, at least. And retro gaming on a budget. The last thing we gotta do is try out the video, and now that I'm thinking about it, I don't know if the top is a headphone jack. Maybe it's both. Because it does do video and audio, but it's definitely the video output. So let's check it on the TV. Alright, we got our little TV here. Let's go ahead and plug her in. There it is. Unfortunately, this particular little TV has to do audio separate. So with this little guy, you could do something like split this cord and run the audio to a separate speaker system. But it does work. You know, it's working pretty good. So I'm sure the audio would work fine here too. But, like I said, you can just pull this and separate these type of cords. You can separate it all the way down to the end and then go ahead and plug this into your stereo or, you know, speakers, whatever you got. So hey, the video output works. Alright, y'all, so there we have it. The GB300 I got for $13 on AliExpress. It has over 6,000 games. It seems to have every game that was released for every one of these consoles. And then some. Like some ROM hacks, some foreign games, things that weren't released in your region, stuff like that. Very freaking cool for this amount of money. You can find these anywhere from around $10 to $20 depending on the type of sale you find them at. AliExpress has them. I'll put a link for the section that I found it on, and you can see if you want to check out your own, go purchase it. Hopefully it's deliverable in your region, and let me know what you think about this in the comments. Do you have the GB300? Do you recommend any custom software, firmware, yada yada yada? Thanks so much for sticking around to the end of the video. If you like this, please hit the like and subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. I really appreciate it, and it inspires me to keep on going making these videos. So I will catch you guys on the next episode. Peace out.
That was just childhood. We were all there together, and in denial would play like it was forever. And in the tall woods, we'd stay out of the weather like it was all good. Every day we made it for pleasure. We were saying whatever came to our minds, plain and simple like a tetherball reaching the sky. We were taking new heights on the swing while it was making us fly. Be the king of the hill, and everything will be fine. The thrill of everything we would